Picture yourself as a captain on a weathered ship, the sea stretching endlessly before you're swallowed by a thick, unrelenting fog. You can't see the shore, can't glimpse the horizon, yet your hands grip the wheel with a tremor of doubt. What if you're steering into a storm? What if the destination is a myth? This fog is the weight of your own hesitation, the internal barriers that cloud your vision and stop you from embodying the success you crave. But here's the truth. You don't need to see the port to sail toward it. Confidence, not clarity, is your compass. In this journey of learning to act as if you've already achieved it, the first battle is within against the doubts that anchor you in place. You are not lost, not unworthy, not unprepared. You are a captain in the making, and today we begin to cut through the haze. Feel the salt on your skin, hear the creak of the deck beneath you. Are you ready to steer even when the way is unseen? Imagine yourself as a young professional sitting in a boardroom where ideas clash like waves against a cliff. The air hums with opportunity, but your voice stays locked behind a wall of fear. You've got insights sharp, valuable, but the thought of speaking up feels like stepping onto a tightrope without a net. I don't have enough experience, you tell yourself. They'll think I'm out of place, so you sit in silence watching others claim the spotlight while your potential festers unseen. Meeting after meeting, you shrink smaller, your confidence eroding like a coastline under relentless tides. The promotions pass you by, the projects you could have led slip through your fingers. You're not just missing opportunities, you're missing yourself. But what if you had acted as if you already belonged at the helm? What if one day you straightened your shoulders, took a breath, and spoke imperfectly? Perhaps, but with conviction. Picture that moment, heads turn, eyes widen, and suddenly you're not just in the room, you're shaping it. The fog of doubt didn't lift, but you steered through it anyway, trusting the captain within. The lesson is clear. Confidence isn't born from certainty. It's forged by action. You don't wait for permission to be great. You claim it even when your knees shake. As the motivational guru Zig Ziglar once said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Your voice, however unsteady, is the first turn of the wheel. Now see yourself as an artist, your studio, a sanctuary of half-finished canvases and sketches tucked away in drawers. Every stroke of your brush carries a piece of your soul, but the thought of showing your work to the world feels like bearing your heart to a storm. It's not good enough, yet you whisper, hiding your creations from even your closest friends. You dream of galleries, of inspiring others with your vision, but fear paints a fog so dense you can't see past your own critique. Months turn to years, and your art remains a secret, a treasure buried beneath layers of not yet. You're not just delaying success, you're denying your own light. Then imagine a shift. One day, trembling, you share a single piece online. The response isn't perfect, some critique, some silence, but a few voices emerge, moved by what you've made. That flicker of connection ignites something in you. You realize the fog of perfectionism never had to clear. You just had to sail forward, trusting your inner compass. Acting as if you're already the artist you aspire to be doesn't mean your work is flawless. It means you show up, you share, you stand in your truth. The destination isn't visible, but each step through the haze reveals more of who you are. As Paulo Coelho wrote in The Alchemist, there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible: to achieve the fear of failure. Your art, like your ship, must brave the unseen to find its harbor. Let's pause and look deeper into this fog that surrounds you. It's not a mere obstacle. It's a mirror reflecting every whispered fear, every moment you've told yourself you're not ready. This fog of self-doubt is thickest when you stand on the brink of transformation. It tells you to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect skill, the perfect version of you. But how many dreams have you anchored in this haze, waiting for a clarity that never comes? How many voyages have you abandoned before even setting sail? The truth is, doubt isn't a sign of weakness. It's a signal you're pushing against your limits. It's the wind that tests the strength of your sails. Think of yourself as that captain again, steering through a mist so dense you can't see your own hands on the wheel. The shore is invisible, but you know it's there, not because you see it, but because you believe in it. Success isn't a destination you stumble upon. It's a course you chart with every decision to move forward. Pain, hesitation, fear. These are not your enemies. They are the currents that shape your resolve. To act as if you've already achieved it isn't to ignore the fog, it's to trust your inner compass when the way is unclear. You don't need proof to proceed. You need faith in the captain you're becoming. Dive deeper with me. This weight of doubt often disguises itself as a noble pursuit readiness. You tell yourself you'll act when you're prepared, when the fog lifts, when you've earned the right to confidence. But readiness is a mirage, a shimmering lie on the horizon that recedes with every step you take toward it. Have you ever noticed how the perfect time never arrives? That's because it doesn't exist. The fog isn't here to stop you, it's here to teach you. It whispers a timeless truth. Success isn't a reward for preparation, it's a byproduct of persistence. Imagine a river carving through stone, not because it waited for the rock to soften, but because it flowed day after day undeterred by the impossible. You are that river. Doubt, like stone, feels immovable, but it yields to the steady force of your will. Acting as if you've already achieved it means embodying the river's relentless spirit, moving forward even when the path is obscured. You don't wait for the fog to clear. You sail through it, knowing each wave brings you closer to your truth. As Napoleon Hill taught in Think and Grow Rich, do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. The fog is not your prison, it's your proving ground. Now let's anchor this in action. When doubt clouds your vision, don't freeze, move. Start with a small, deliberate step to embody the success you seek. If you're that professional afraid to speak, prepare one idea before the next meeting. Write it down, rehearse it, feel it. Then when the moment comes, stand and share it even if your voice wavers. You're not aiming for perfection. You're proving to yourself that you can steer through the fog. Each word spoken is a turn of the wheel, guiding you closer to confidence. If you're the artist hiding your work, choose one piece, just one, and show it to someone you trust. Let their reaction, whether praise or critique, be your compass, not your verdict. The act of sharing shifts the weight of doubt off your shoulders. You're not waiting to be good enough. You're acting as if you already are. Track these small victories. Write them down. Today I spoke. Today I shared. These are your logbook entries, proof that you're sailing forward even in the haze. Remember, the fog doesn't lift by wishing, it parts with movement. Here's another tool to cut through doubt. Anchor yourself in your vision daily. When the fog of hesitation creeps in, pause and visualize the captain you aim to be. See yourself at the helm, unshaken by unseen storms, guiding your ship with quiet certainty. If you're striving for a career breakthrough, picture yourself leading that meeting, owning the room. If you're creating art, imagine your work hanging in a space where it moves others. Hold that image for a minute each morning. Let it burn into your mind like a lighthouse in the mist. Then take one action that aligns with that vision. Send an email pitching your idea. Post a sketch online. These aren't just tasks, they're declarations that you're already on course. Doubt will whisper, but your vision shouts louder. Write down one reason each day why you believe in your destination. Keep it where you can see it, a note on your desk, a reminder on your phone. This is your map when the fog thickens. You're not lost. You're learning to trust the journey. We've journeyed through the fog together, confronting the weight of doubt that binds you to the shore. You've seen how hesitation silences the professional, how fear hides the artist, and how the illusion of readiness can anchor your ship before it ever sets sail. But you've also learned that the fog isn't your enemy, it's your forge. By acting as if you've already achieved it, you steer through the unseen, trusting the captain within. The key lesson, takeaway, is your compass now. It reminds you that confidence doesn't wait for clarity, it creates it. Every step, every risk, every trembling move forward parts the haze just a little more. As we prepare to sail deeper in the next leg of this voyage, hold this truth close. You don't need to see the shore to know it's there. Grip the wheel, feel the wind, trust your course. Your destination isn't a dream, it's a decision. Keep moving, Captain, even when the fog blinds you. Final mantra, steer boldly. Your harbor awaits beyond the haze. Picture yourself on the eve of a great battle, standing alone on a windswept hill. Before you lies the vast field of your dreams, unclaimed and daunting. Yet in your hands you hold a set of armor, not forged of iron, but of belief. You don this armor not because victory is certain, but because you must become the warrior who is ready to win. This is the essence of acting as if you've already achieved it. You don't wait for triumph to shape you. You shape yourself for triumph now. Welcome to the heart of transformation, where you learn to adopt the mindset and behaviors of your future self. This isn't about pretending or wishful thinking. It's about embodying the strength, the poise, the unshakable resolve of the person you're destined to become. You are the warrior, and belief is your armor. Wear it before the battle begins and you prepare your soul for victory. Let's walk this path together as you forge a version of yourself that doesn't just dream of success, but lives it in every step, every word, every choice. Imagine you're an entrepreneur named Maya, barely keeping your small business afloat. Bills pile up like storm clouds, and every client meeting feels like a desperate plea. You've got a vision, a company that changes lives, but doubt gnaws at your edges. You see successful leaders on social media, their tailored suits and confident smiles a world away from your worn-out jeans and sleepless nights. You feel small, unworthy, but one day you decide to change the script. You act as if you've already made it. You invest in a sharp blazer, even though it stretches your budget. You practice your pitch in the mirror, speaking with the authority of someone who's closed million-dollar deals. You walk into negotiations not as a struggling dreamer, but as a leader who commands respect. At first it feels like a costume, a mask, but something shifts. Your shoulders straighten, your voice steadies. When a potential client hesitates, you don't falter. You lean in, offering solutions with the calm assurance of someone who's been here before, and they sign the contract. Maya's story isn't about the blazer or the words alone. It's about the armor of belief she donned before the battle. She didn't wait for success to validate her. She validated herself through action. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Maya believed in her future self first, and that belief became her shield. Her lesson echoes our truth. Strength is worn before the battle. By acting as if she'd already achieved her vision, she forged the confidence to claim it. And so can you. Now picture yourself as Arjun, a student drowning in self-doubt. Exams loom like towering cliffs, and every failed practice test feels like a fall. Your classmates seem to glide through concepts while you stumble, questioning if you're even cut out for this. But deep down, a spark flickers, a vision of yourself as a top performer, walking across the stage to collect your award. You decide to act as if that vision is already real. You start small. You sit at the front of the class, posture straight as if you're already the best. You create a study schedule with the discipline of someone who aces every test. When exhaustion hits, you don't slump. You remind yourself that champions push through. You visualize each chapter as a brick in the cathedral of your success, laying them with care. Slowly the grades creep up. A C becomes a B, then an A. On the final exam, you walk in not as Arjun the struggler, but as Arjun the victor. And when the results come, you're at the top. Arjun's journey mirrors the warrior's path. He donned the armor of belief before the battle, before the proof of success arrived. He studied, spoke, and carried himself as if he'd already achieved greatness, and that mindset carved his path to it. His story teaches us the takeaway of this section: acting as if you've already achieved it isn't a delusion. It's a declaration. You wear your strength now, and victory follows. Let's pause and reflect. What does it mean to adopt the mindset of your future self? It's not about faking confidence or mimicking others. It's about stepping into the forge of identity, where belief hammers you into shape. You are both the blacksmith and the steel. Every thought you choose, every habit you build is a strike that molds you into the person who has already won. Think of yourself as a warrior on that windswept hill. The armor of belief isn't heavy. It's your second skin. You wear it not to impress, but to become. How often have you waited for permission to feel worthy? How many times have you delayed your greatness, thinking I'll act confident when I succeed? Reverse that lie. Success doesn't create belief. Belief creates success. Like a river carving through stone, your actions rooted in the conviction of your future self wear down obstacles over time. You don't need to see the finish line to run with purpose. You only need to trust that every step is shaping the champion within. Wear your armor now. Let belief be the shield that turns doubt into dust. Consider this: the greatest battle you'll ever fight isn't with the world, it's with the mirror. Before you can claim any external victory, you must conquer the internal war of hesitation. Acting as if you've already achieved it is your strategy in this fight. It's the warrior's creed: prepare as if the war is won even when the enemy of fear looms large. Your armor of belief isn't just protection, it's a proclamation. You declare to yourself, to the universe, that you are already enough. Have you ever noticed how the way you carry yourself changes the way others see you? Stand tall and the world assumes strength. Speak with conviction and doors creak open. This isn't magic, it's the ripple of belief. Like a lighthouse piercing through fog, your inner certainty guides you when the path is unclear. The battle before the war is won by choosing to act as if by living the habits, the mindset, the resolve of your future self today. Don this armor, and you'll find that the war was half won before you even stepped onto the field. Let's get practical. You want to act as if you've already achieved it, but where do you start? Begin with the mirror. Each morning, look at yourself and speak one truth. I am the person who succeeds. Say it with force, even if doubt lingers. Then dress the part. If you're aiming to be a leader, wear what a leader wears, even if it's just for a day. If you're striving to be fit, put on your workout gear before you feel ready. Small actions signal to your mind that the transformation has begun. Next, align your habits. Write down 3 behaviors your future self embodies. Maybe it's punctuality, persistence, or bold communication. Pick one to practice today. If your future self is a master negotiator, rehearse your next conversation with unshakable calm. Track your progress no matter how small. Each step is a brick in your foundation. As Tony Robbins often says, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. Consistency in acting as if builds the bridge to your reality. Wear your armor of belief through these actions and watch how the battle tilts in your favor. Here's another tool to forge your future self: visualization paired with action. Close your eyes for 5 minutes each day and see yourself as the person who has already arrived. If you dream of being a celebrated artist, picture your work in a gallery. Hear the applause, feel the pride. If you aim to be a confident speaker, imagine commanding a room, every word landing with impact. Let this vision soak into your bones. But don't stop at the mind's eye. Act on it. If you're the artist, paint with the boldness of someone already renowned. If you're the speaker, practice your delivery as if the crowd is waiting. Pairing visualization with tangible steps cements your belief. Write down one action you'll take today to live as your future self. Maybe it's sending that email you've delayed or taking that class you've feared. Do it with the certainty of someone who's already succeeded. This is your armor worn through vision, strengthened through deeds. The battle is yours to shape. One final thought to carry with you: belief is not a feather. It's a mountain. When you act as if you've already achieved it, you shoulder the weight of your own potential. It's not always easy. There will be days when the armor feels too heavy, when the world scoffs at your audacity. But remember this: every warrior who ever won a battle felt that weight first. Belief isn't comfort, it's courage. It's the choice to stand tall when your knees tremble to speak, when your voice shakes to move, when your heart doubts. What if you trusted that the weight of belief is sculpting you like a seed pressing through soil to reach the sun? Your effort to embody your future self is the force that breaks through limitation. You don't act as if to deceive. You do it to declare. You're telling the universe, I am ready, I am here. Wear your armor of belief even when it chafes. The battle isn't just for victory, it's for the person you become while fighting. And that person is already a champion. As we close this chapter of your journey, let's anchor in the truth we've uncovered. Acting as if you've already achieved it isn't a game of make-believe. It's a forging of reality. Through Maya's negotiations and Arjun's ascent, we've seen how the armor of belief transforms doubt into power. Through reflection, we've understood that the battle begins within, and victory is shaped by the mindset you adopt today. Through actionable steps, you've gained tools to embody your future self now. The key lesson remains: strength is worn before the battle, preparing you for victory. You are the warrior on the hill. The field of your dreams awaits vast and unclaimed, but you're not unarmed. Your belief, your actions, your resolve, they are the armor that turns possibility into certainty. As we move forward, carry this fire into the next stretch of your path, where new challenges will test the steel you forge. For now, stand firm with this truth burning in your chest. Final mantra: wear your armor. The battle is already yours. Picture yourself standing before a towering block of raw marble, a sculptor's chisel in your trembling hand. The stone is rough, unformed, a silent challenge to your vision. But in your mind's eye, you see it a masterpiece of elegance and strength waiting to be revealed. This is your life, your potential, your future. Every strike of the chisel, every small, deliberate action shapes the unseen into reality. You don't wait for perfection to arrive. You act as if the statue already stands before you, and with each move you bring it closer to life. In this journey of learning to act as if you've already achieved it, the power lies not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, persistent choices you make every day. This section, Shaping the Unseen, is your guide to mastering practical strategies that transform your vision into tangible triumph. You are the sculptor of your destiny, and the marble of your life bends to your will when you commit to the work. Feel the weight of the tools in your hands. Sense the fire of purpose in your chest. Are you ready to carve out the life you've always imagined? Let's begin. Imagine yourself as an unpublished writer, your desk a battlefield of crumpled pages and half-formed ideas. You've dreamed of seeing your name on a book cover, of readers losing themselves in your words. Yet the rejections pile up, each one a jagged crack in your confidence. Doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering that you're not enough, that your stories will never find a home. But one day you decide to stop waiting for permission. You choose to act as if you're already a best-selling author, crafting a life that mirrors the success you seek. You rise before dawn as the greats do, claiming the quiet hours as your sanctuary. You set a sacred space, a desk by the window, a single candle flickering as a beacon of focus. You write for 2 hours each morning, not because inspiration strikes, but because this is what authors do. You dress the part, carrying yourself with the quiet authority of someone whose words matter. You study the craft, reading interviews with literary giants, mimicking their discipline. You send queries to agents not with desperation, but with the calm certainty of someone who knows their work belongs in the world. Months pass and the rejections still sting, but something shifts. Your pages grow sharper, your voice bolder. An agent notices. A small press offers a contract. It's not the bestseller list yet, but it's a crack in the marble, a glimpse of the masterpiece beneath. You've shaped the unseen by acting as if it were already real. Like a sculptor, you saw the finished work in your mind long before the first chapter was done. And in that vision, you found the strength to keep chiseling, to keep writing until the world began to see what you always knew was there. The lesson is clear, small, deliberate actions, rising early. Writing daily, carrying yourself with purpose, build the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. You don't need the world's validation to start. You need only to act as if it's already yours, and the marble of your life will yield to your steady hand. Now picture yourself as a fitness beginner standing in front of a gym mirror, feeling the weight of your own uncertainty. Your body aches with years of neglect, and every glance at the toned figures around you feels like a silent judgment. You want to be strong, to move with the grace of an athlete, but the gap between here and there feels like a chasm. Then one day you decide to stop wishing. You resolve to act as if you're already the person you long to be, a warrior of endurance and power. You start small, but with intention. You lace up your sneakers each morning, not as a novice, but as an athlete in training. You follow a schedule mimicking the discipline of champions: cardio on Monday, strength on Wednesday, rest on Sunday. You fuel your body with care, choosing meals that nourish rather than comfort. When exhaustion bites, you don't collapse. You push through one more rep, imagining yourself crossing a finish line. You track every mile, every lift, not as a chore, but as proof of who you are becoming. You walk taller, shoulders back, embodying the strength you're forging. Weeks turn to months, and the transformation isn't just physical. Your body reshapes, muscles emerge, stamina surges, but so does your mind. You crave the burn of effort, the quiet pride of progress. Others notice, asking for your secrets, and you smile, knowing it's not magic. It's the sculptor's craft. You saw the statue of your strongest self long before the first sweat fell. By acting as if you were already that person, you chiseled away doubt, weakness, and hesitation until the reality matched the vision. This story teaches you that acting as if isn't about pretending, it's about aligning your actions with your ultimate truth. Each deliberate step, each choice to show up, shapes the unseen into something the world can't ignore. You are the sculptor, and your life is the marble. Keep striking. Pause for a moment and consider this. What if the greatest barrier to your success isn't talent or opportunity, but your refusal to see the masterpiece before it's complete? Too often we wait for proof, a contract, a medal, a nod of approval, before we dare to act with confidence. But the truth is, a blade of clarity, the unseen vision, is your greatest strength. Like a sculptor staring at raw marble, you must hold the image of your finished work in your heart, long before the first chip falls. That vision isn't a dream. It's a blueprint, a promise you make to yourself through every small deliberate action. Think of your life as a vast quarry filled with unshaped stone. Every goal, every aspiration lies buried within, waiting for your hands to uncover it. But the world won't hand you a map. It won't whisper where to strike. You must trust the inner eye, the one that sees beyond the rough edges to the elegance beneath. When you act as if you've already achieved it, you're not deceiving yourself. You're honoring the truth of what can be. You're saying, I see the statue, I know it's there, and I will carve until it stands. How many times have you hesitated, doubting the vision only you can see? How often have you let the weight of the marble, the fear, the uncertainty, stop your hand mid-swing? Remember this, the sculptor doesn't question whether the statue exists. They trust their craft, their patience, their relentless will. So must you. Act as if the life you want is already yours, and let every choice, every step be a strike of the chisel. The unseen is real. Make it so. There's a quiet power in the smallest of actions, a truth as enduring as the mountains themselves. We often imagine transformation as a thunderclap, a sudden leap to greatness that shakes the earth. But look closer. The sculptor doesn't shatter the marble with one blow. They shape it with countless deliberate taps. So it is with your life. When you act as if you've already achieved it, you're not chasing a single dramatic moment. You're building a rhythm, a cadence of small strikes that over time reveal the masterpiece hidden within. Consider the river that carves through stone. It doesn't rage with fury in a single day. It flows steady and unyielding, wearing down the hardest barriers with gentle persistence. Your daily choices, waking early, speaking with confidence, stepping into discomfort, are like that river. They may seem insignificant in the moment, a mere ripple against the vastness of your goals. But they accumulate. They erode doubt. They smooth the rough edges of fear. Acting as if isn't about grand proclamations. It's about the quiet commitment to show up, to strike the marble again and again, even when no one sees the progress but you. Have you ever stopped to marvel at what consistency can create? Have you ever considered that the life you crave might be just one more strike away? Embrace the weight of small actions. Let them be your tools, your allies. Each one is a declaration, I am the sculptor of my fate. I shape the unseen, and I will not stop until the world sees what I've always known was there. Now let's turn philosophy into action. If you're to act as if you've already achieved it, start with the foundation of all transformation, your daily ritual. The sculptor doesn't approach the marble haphazardly. They plan each strike with care. So must you craft a routine that mirrors the life you seek. Begin by identifying one area where you want to grow, be it your career, health, or creativity. Ask yourself, how does the person I aspire to be act each day? If you're a budding entrepreneur, act as if you're already leading a thriving business. Set a specific time each morning to review your goals just as a CEO would. Dress with purpose, even if you're working from home. If you're an artist, carve out uninterrupted hours to create, treating your craft with the reverence of a master. Write down 3 non-negotiable actions that align with your vision. Perhaps it's writing 500 words, running a mile, or pitching one idea. Commit to them daily, no matter how small they seem. Track your progress in a journal, noting how each step makes you feel closer to the finished statue. When doubt creeps in, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself that every strike matters. As Stephen Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, private victories precede public victories. Your daily ritual is your private victory, the unseen work that shapes the marble of your life. Stick to it. Act as if, and watch how the world begins to reflect the vision you've held all along. Another powerful strategy to act as if is to embody the role of your future self in tangible ways. This isn't about pretense, it's about aligning your outer actions with your inner truth. Think of the sculptor who imagines the statue so vividly that every movement of their hand feels guided by its form. You can do the same by stepping into the identity of who you're becoming starting now. Choose one trait or habit of your ideal self and live it today. Want to be a confident speaker? Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with conviction, even in casual conversations. Aspire to be a leader. Make decisions with clarity, even small ones, as if a team depends on your guidance. Surround yourself with reminders of your vision. Keep a photo of your goal on your desk. Wear something that makes you feel powerful, or read a passage from a mentor's work each morning. As Tony Robbins often says, motion creates emotion. By moving as if you've already arrived, you ignite the feelings of success which fuel further action. When resistance hits, and it will stop, ask, what would my future self do in this moment? Then act on the answer. This simple shift turns every challenge into a chance to chisel away at the old and reveal the new. You're not waiting to become. You're becoming with every choice. Shape the unseen. Start now. As we've seen in the stories of the writer and the athlete, acting as if isn't a hollow gesture, it's a deliberate craft. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich reminds us whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This isn't mere optimism, it's a call to action. When you conceive of your success, you must believe in it so fiercely that your daily choices reflect that belief. The writer believed their words mattered, so they wrote. The athlete believed in their strength, so they trained. What do you believe in enough to act on today? Similarly, in Atomic Habits, James Clear teaches us that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Each time you act as if you are casting a vote for your future self. You're telling the world and yourself that this is who you are. The marble of your life doesn't care about your doubts. It responds to your actions. So vote with intention. Strike with purpose. Shape the unseen until it stands undeniable before you. As we close this chapter of Shaping the Unseen, let the core lesson sink deep into your bones. Acting as if you've already achieved it is not a game of make-believe, but a powerful strategy of small, deliberate actions that carve your reality from the raw marble of possibility. You've walked with the unpublished writer who rose before dawn, crafting a routine of greatness. You've sweated with the fitness beginner who trained like a champion, transforming body and mind. You've reflected on the unseen vision, the weight of small strikes, and armed yourself with practical tools to embody your future self. The takeaway is this: by acting as if through consistent, purposeful steps, you shape the unseen into the undeniable. Remember, you are the sculptor. The masterpiece of your life already exists in your mind's eye. Every choice, every ritual, every moment you embody your vision is a strike of the chisel, revealing what's always been there. Trust the process. Keep shaping. As we move forward, we'll explore how to sustain this momentum even when the marble feels unyielding, when the world tests your resolve. Until then, hold fast to this truth and let it guide your hand. Final mantra: strike with vision. Shape the unseen. Your masterpiece awaits. Picture yourself as a lighthouse standing unyielding on a jagged cliff, your beam cutting through the blackest of storms. Waves crash, winds howl, but you remain a silent sentinel of certainty. Who looks to you in the chaos? Who finds hope in your unwavering glow? You may not see them, but they're there navigating their own tempests, drawn to the strength you project. This is the power of acting as if you've already achieved it. Not just for yourself, but for those who watch, who follow, who believe, because you do. Welcome to the Beacon of Presence, where we dive into the profound truth of how your conviction shapes the world around you. When you carry yourself as if victory is already yours, you don't just transform your own path, you become a guiding light for others lost in their doubts. You inspire, you uplift, you lead. Let's explore how embodying this unshakable certainty, acting as if, creates ripples of courage and resilience in those who surround you. Feel the weight of this responsibility and embrace the fire it ignites within. Are you ready to stand tall, to shine, to guide? Imagine a single parent, let's call her Maria, standing in a cramped kitchen, bills stacked like a mountain on the counter. The refrigerator hums nearly empty, and the weight of unpaid rent presses down like a storm cloud. Her two children, wide-eyed and curious, watch her every move. They don't yet understand the numbers, the late-night worries, the quiet tears shed after bedtime. But they feel something deeper, her presence. Maria straightens her shoulders, smiles as if the world is hers to conquer, and says, "We're going to make today amazing. Let's bake something sweet with what we've got." Her voice doesn't waver. Her eyes don't betray the fear. Inside, Maria battles a tempest. She's not sure how she'll pay the next bill or keep the lights on, but she acts as if she's already overcome it all. She moves with purpose, laughs with her children, and teaches them to find joy in the smallest victories, a batch of lumpy cookies, a shared story under a flickering lamp. Her certainty isn't rooted in money or security. It's forged in her resolve to show her children that life doesn't break you unless you let it. She is their lighthouse, her optimism a beam piercing through their unspoken fears. And in her presence, they learn resilience, not from words, but from the way she stands firm against the crashing waves of hardship. Years later, her daughter recalls that kitchen, that smile, and says, "Mom never let us feel the struggle. She made us believe everything would be okay, and somehow it always was." Maria's lesson echoes like a lighthouse's steady pulse. When you act as if you've already triumphed, you plant seeds of strength in others. You guide them through storms they don't even know they're facing. You show them how to endure. Now picture a team leader, Sam, in the heart of a corporate crisis. Deadlines loom like thunderheads, a major project teeters on collapse, and the team is fraying at the edges, doubt creeping into every email, every hushed conversation. Layoffs whisper through the office like a cold wind. Sam could crumble under the pressure, admit the uncertainty, and let panic steer the ship. But he doesn't. He walks into the meeting room with a steady gaze, shoulders squared, as if the solution is already in his pocket. "We've got this," he declares, his voice a rock against the tide. "Let's break this down step by step." Sam isn't blind to the stakes. Late at night alone, he wrestles with what-ifs. But in front of his team, he embodies certainty. He acts as if the victory is already written, mapping out plans with precision, cracking a joke to ease the tension, and assigning tasks as if failure isn't even a shadow on the horizon. His conviction becomes their anchor. One by one, the team rallies, doubt replaced by focus, fear by grit. They work late, they innovate, they push through. And when the project lands flawed but finished, they celebrate not just the outcome, but the belief Sam instilled. He was their lighthouse, unwavering amid the storm, guiding them to shore when they couldn't see it themselves. Sam's story burns with truth when you act as if you've already achieved it. Your presence becomes a force. You don't just lead, you inspire others to rise. You show them that storms pass, but conviction endures. Pause for a moment and consider this. How often have you underestimated the power of your presence? You walk through life wrestling with your own doubts, your own tempests, and yet someone is always watching. A child, a colleague, a stranger on the street. They see the way you carry yourself, the way you refuse to bow under pressure. When you act as if you've already claimed your victory, you don't just rewrite your own story, you alter theirs. Your certainty becomes their courage, your resolve their hope. Think of yourself as that lighthouse rooted on a cliff of sheer will. The storms of life, failure, rejection, fear crash against you, but your light doesn't flicker. It cuts through the darkness, not for your own sake, but for the ships lost at sea, for those who've forgotten the way to shore. Your presence, when forged with the belief that you've already won, sends ripples across the water. It's not arrogance, it's a gift. It's the quiet promise that if you can stand tall, so can they. How many lives have you touched without knowing it? How many have found their way because you refuse to dim your glow? This isn't about pretending or masking your struggles. It's about choosing to embody the endgame victory, strength, peace, even when the battle rages. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, when you believe, when you act as if you don't just shape your reality, you become a beacon for others to do the same. Your light doesn't just guide, it transforms." Let's dig deeper. Acting as if you've already achieved it isn't a solitary act, it's a responsibility. Every step you take with certainty, every word spoken with conviction carries weight. You're not just building your own cathedral of dreams, you're laying bricks for others to follow. But here's the unspoken truth: influence is a double-edged blade. If your light falters, if you let doubt seep into your stance, those who look to you feel it too. A flicker in your beam can send the ships crashing against the rocks. So what will you choose? Will you stand firm, or will you let the storm shake you? Imagine your life as a river carving through stone. Your actions, your presence shape the path not just for you, but for everyone downstream. When you move as if the summit is already yours, you erode doubt in others. You show them that obstacles are temporary, that the current of belief can wear down any barrier. But this demands courage. It demands that you face your own darkness and still choose to shine. As Stephen R. Covey reminds us in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Your spirit, when it burns bright with certainty, becomes a force beyond yourself. It lifts others. It guides them. Are you willing to carry that flame even when your hands tremble? Now let's ground this in action. Acting as if you've already achieved it isn't a vague concept. It's a daily choice, a habit you build. Start with your posture. Stand tall even when the weight of the world presses down. Walk into a room as if you own it, not with arrogance, but with quiet assurance. Let your body speak what your mind believes. The victory is already yours. Notice how others respond, how a straightened spine and a steady gaze shift the energy around you. Next, guard your words. When challenges arise, don't vent despair. Speak solutions. Instead of, "I don't know if we'll make it," say, "We'll find a way through." Your language shapes not just your reality, but the belief of those listening. Finally, act with intention. Make decisions as if the outcome is certain. Hesitation breeds doubt in you and in others. Move forward even if it's one small step, and let your resolve be contagious. As you embody this, you'll see it. Your presence becomes a lighthouse guiding others through storms you may never fully see. Start today. Stand, speak, act, shine. Here's another tool to wield: reflection. Each evening, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, how did I act as if today? Did my presence lift someone even in a small way? Write down one moment where you embodied certainty. Maybe you encouraged a friend, held your ground in a tough conversation, or simply smiled through a hard day. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Seeing your impact reinforces your resolve. Then prepare for tomorrow. Visualize a challenge you'll face: a meeting, a conflict, a personal struggle, and picture yourself navigating it as if the victory is already won. See your posture, hear your voice, feel your calm. This mental rehearsal, as Tony Robbins often teaches, primes your mind to act with conviction. In Awaken the Giant Within, Robbins writes, "It's not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs as to what those events mean." Believe you've already triumphed and let that belief radiate. When others sense it, they'll draw strength from your light. Make this a ritual. Reflect, visualize, become the beacon. As we close this journey through the beacon of presence, let the truth settle into your bones. Acting as if you've already achieved it isn't just about personal transformation, it's about the lives you touch, the hope you ignite, the storms you help others weather. You've seen it in Maria, the parent whose unbroken smile taught her children resilience, and in Sam, the leader whose conviction rallied a faltering team. You felt it in the philosophical depths of your own influence, a ripple of light reaching far beyond your sight. And you've armed yourself with tools to embody this certainty every day. The key lesson is this: when you act as if your presence becomes a guiding force, a lighthouse that others rely on to navigate their own chaos. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stand firm, to shine, to believe. As we move forward, we'll explore how this inner certainty shapes not just others, but the very reality you build. For now, hold this image: you, a lighthouse on the cliff of life, unyielding, unwavering, a beacon for all who seek the shore. Final mantra: stand firm, shine bright, guide always. Picture this: a phoenix not yet reborn, standing amidst the smoldering ashes of its past. It does not wait for the flames to ignite or for the world to witness its transformation. No, it rises now, wings outstretched, embodying the glory of its future before the ashes even cool. You are that phoenix. You don't need permission or proof to become who you're meant to be. The transformation begins the moment you act as if you've already achieved it. In this journey of learning to live as if, we celebrate the long-term rewards of this bold choice, the unshakable confidence, the profound growth, and the life you craft by embodying your vision long before the world catches up. Welcome to a new dawn, where you rise before the light breaks, where you claim your victory before the battle is won. This is not about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about creating it. Feel the fire stirring within you. Can you sense the power of stepping into your future self today? Let's explore how living as if transforms not just your actions, but your very soul, forging a legacy that time cannot erase. Imagine yourself as a quiet soul, someone whose voice once trembled at the thought of speaking to a crowd. Your heart raced at the mere idea of a stage, your words tangled in fear. This was Maya's reality. For years, she sat in the audience, watching speakers captivate rooms, her dream of inspiring others, buried under layers of self-doubt. But Maya made a choice. She decided to act as if she were already the speaker she longed to be. She stood in front of her mirror each night, delivering speeches to an invisible crowd. She recorded herself, critiqued every pause, every gesture, embodying the confidence of a seasoned orator long before stepping onto a real stage. The conflict was fierce. Her inner critic roared, telling her she wasn't ready, that she'd stumble, that she'd fail. Friends questioned her obsession. Why prepare so relentlessly for something that hadn't yet happened? But Maya didn't waver. She dressed as if she were speaking at a sold-out event, walked with the poise of a leader, and spoke with the conviction of someone who had already moved mountains. Years passed, and when the opportunity finally came, a small local event, she didn't just perform, she commanded. The audience felt her presence not as a novice, but as a force. Today, Maya speaks to thousands, her name on marquees, but her transformation began long before the applause. Like the phoenix rising before the ashes, she embodied her future, refusing to wait for proof. The lesson is clear: act as if you've already arrived, and the world will eventually see you as you see yourself. Now picture yourself in a cramped office, overlooked for promotions, your potential unseen by those above you. This was Daniel's story. A mid-level employee with big ideas, he watched others climb the corporate ladder while he lingered in the shadows. But Daniel refused to wait for a title to define him. He acted as if he were already a leader. He took initiative on projects no one else wanted, stayed late to solve problems, and mentored colleagues without being asked. He spoke with the authority of someone who already held the corner office, even when his desk was in a cubicle. The struggle was real. Doubt gnawed at him. Why pour so much into a role he didn't yet have? Colleagues mocked his efforts, calling him overzealous. But Daniel held firm. He visualized himself in that leadership role, carried himself with the dignity of a decision maker, and made choices as if the company's future rested on his shoulders. When the promotion finally came years later, it wasn't a surprise to him. He stepped into the role seamlessly, already forged by the weight of responsibility he'd chosen to bear long before. Like the phoenix, Daniel didn't wait for the ashes to clear or for external validation. He rose, embodying his future, and the reward was a transformation so complete that the title was merely a formality. The takeaway echoes: live as if you've already achieved it, and when the moment arrives, you'll be more than ready. What does it mean to rise before the dawn, to claim your transformation before the world acknowledges it? It means to stand in the ashes of your old self, not as a victim of past failures, but as a creator of future triumphs. The phoenix doesn't wait for the fire to reignite on its own. It becomes the flame. So must you. Living as if is not a delusion, it's a declaration. You're telling the universe, I am already who I intend to be. This act of premature rebirth reshapes your reality. Every step you take as your future self builds a bridge between where you are and where you're destined to go. Consider this: how many times have you delayed your greatness, waiting for the perfect conditions? How often have you told yourself, I'll act confident when I'm successful, or I'll lead when I'm given the chance? The long-term reward of living as if is that you bypass the waiting game. You forge your confidence, your skills, your very essence in the heat of now. As Wayne Dyer once said, you'll see it when you believe it. Belief precedes evidence. When you embody your future, you don't just prepare for success, you become it. Like a river carving through stone, your persistent vision erodes all doubt, leaving behind a path others will one day marvel at. So stand tall amidst the ashes. Rise now. The dawn is yours to claim. There's a deeper reward to this philosophy, one that stretches beyond personal gain. When you act as if you've already achieved it, you plant seeds of inspiration for others to witness. Think of yourself as a lighthouse beaming through the fog long before ships spot your shore. Your transformation isn't just yours, it's a signal to those lost in their own storms. By embodying your future, you show others that they too can rise before their ashes cool. The long-term reward is a legacy, a ripple effect of courage that outlives your own journey. Have you ever considered the weight of your example? How many souls might be waiting for a sign that it's possible to become more than they are today? When Maya spoke with unshakable confidence, she didn't just win over audiences. She ignited hope in those who once trembled as she did. When Daniel led without a title, he taught his peers that authority is earned through action, not bestowed by rank. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, your belief acted upon becomes a monument to possibility. So live as if, not just for yourself, but for the unseen eyes watching, waiting for a spark. Be their phoenix. Rise and let your rebirth light their way. How do you begin to live as if you've already achieved it? It's simpler than you think, but it demands intention. Start each day by asking yourself, how would my future self act right now? If you dream of being a confident speaker like Maya, stand in front of a mirror and deliver a speech as if thousands are listening. If you aim to lead like Daniel, tackle a small task at work with the authority of a CEO. Dress the part, speak the part, move the part. Small actions compound into unshakable transformation. Here's a step-by-step guide. First, define one quality of your future: self-confidence, decisiveness, calm under pressure. Second, identify one situation today where you can embody that quality. Third, act on it without hesitation, even if you feel like a fraud at first. Feelings follow actions, not the other way around. Finally, reflect at day's end. How did it feel to live as if? Write down one win, no matter how small. This practice builds the long-term reward of self-belief. You're not waiting for the world to crown you. You're crowning yourself day by day until the external matches the internal. Resistance will come. Doubt will whisper that you're not ready, that you're pretending that you'll fail. But the phoenix doesn't heed the ashes. It rises despite them. When resistance strikes, use visualization as your shield. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you're becoming. Feel the stage beneath your feet, the weight of a leader's decisions, the joy of your achievement. Then act from that vision, even if your hands shake. Try this. Set aside 5 minutes daily to visualize your future self in vivid detail. Where are you? What are you doing? Who is with you? Then pick one action from that vision to execute today. If you see yourself as a best-selling author, write one page as if your book is already a hit. If you envision yourself fit in strong exercise, as if you're maintaining a champion's body. As Tony Robbins often says, energy flows where attention goes. Direct your focus to your future and let your actions follow. Over time, this builds the reward of a life aligned with your vision, brick by brick, until the world sees what you've seen all along. As we close this chapter of Rising Before the Dawn, let's reflect on the profound transformation that comes from living as if you've already achieved it. You've seen Maya conquer stages by embodying confidence long before the spotlight found her. You've walked with Daniel as he led without a title, forging authority through action. These stories, paired with the philosophy of premature rebirth, remind us that the long-term rewards, confidence, legacy, and unshakable purpose are not gifts handed to us. They're treasures we claim by acting now. The key lesson is to embody your future self today, for in that act you build the life you seek. Like the phoenix, you don't need to wait for the ashes to settle or for the world to validate your worth. Rise now with wings of belief and let your transformation be the flame that lights your path. As we move forward, prepare to explore how this mindset sustains you through inevitable storms, for the journey of living as if is not without challenge, but it is always worth the ascent. Final mantra: rise now. Your rebirth begins before the ashes cool.